Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Tuesday bites. Tuesday sucks. Tuesday blows. Go away. Tuesday's crap. Tuesday's lame. Tuesday's dumb. Go away. Tuesday. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. But what can you say about Tuesday?
Nothing, except it's not going to be very nice outside. 48 for a high, clouds, maybe a little bit of sunshine later on, but not as nice as it'll be this weekend when it's up in the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Close to average, close to average for this time of year, but the 60s will feel better. But I think we're going to see the sun later this afternoon for a little bit.
Heading in the right direction. Definitely. All packed, ready to go?
No. Some packed.
You're leaving tomorrow morning,
Yeah,
right?
I do know that,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Some packed. Half. I would say half.
All right. Big trip to Nashville, Tennessee for Jean and her daughters. Leaves bright and early tomorrow morning, so this will be Jean's final day with us on the program for the rest of this week. Grant Bilse is in Iceland, so we won't have him this afternoon or later this morning after 8 o'clock. I was texting with him yesterday. He was showing me all the weird delicacies.
Yeah?
Yeah. Shark. Fermented shark. Whale blubber. All sorts of other interesting and non-edible foods.
That he's eating?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I had already seen the shark thing on Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern. I don't know if you remember that show.
I sure do.
But on one of the episodes, he goes to Iceland, and they catch these sharks, and they cannot do it in town because it smells so bad that it affects the entire town. So they have these like shacks that they build on the coast, miles and miles and miles away from town.
Processing.
And they take the shark and they hang it up and they let it basically rot. And then I don't know what the hell happens after that, but then they start eating the meat. And no thanks. I'm good. I want no part of that.
Nice cheeseburgers.
I'll just give me a prime rib. I'll be good with that. I'm quite all right with a nice little steak right on my plate. I'm good with that. But a Icelandic delicacy, apparently, rotting shark.
To each his own.
No, thank you. But, no Grant Bilse today. But we will let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. We are going to talk about spring cleaning again, this time around digital spring cleaning.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And all sorts of other stuff. Bad news, happy music, and the friggin' sports. Lots of other stuff to get to. rockmornings.com to find all of our contact info. We've got music in just a bit from Papa Roach.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Another recall for the Ford Motor Company. More than 105,000 of their top-selling vehicles. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration announcing about a week ago that it's recalling about 105,000 Ford SUVs due to concerns related to the seatbelts. The recall impacting the following models: certain 2018 to 2020 Ford Expeditions and certain 2018 to 2020 Lincoln Aviators. The NHTSA said the seatbelt pretensioners for drivers and or front passengers may mistakenly lock, which would not allow the device to retract or extend. Some vehicles in the recall previously inspected under another recall and did not have parts replaced when we'll need to have the new recall remedy completed.
Hassle.
So, yeah.
It's a hassle.
So, again, if you've got a Ford Expedition or a Lincoln Aviator between the years of 2018 and 2020, you may want to Google that and get your vehicle in for a check. Might be a recall on your vehicle. Former Wisconsin State Supreme Court Justice who spread election conspiracies and also led an investigation into President Donald Trump's 2020 loss in Wisconsin agreed yesterday to surrender his law license to settle multiple misconduct violations. The State Office of Lawyer Regulation filing a 10-count complaint back in November against Michael Gableman, accusing him of misconduct during the probe. The state Supreme Court ultimately could revoke his law license, although the court rarely administers such a harsh punishment against wayward attorneys. Gableman acknowledging in the filing that the complaint provides an adequate factual basis and that he couldn't successfully defend himself against the allegations.
Yeah, so what? They're true, but I'm not saying that.
But yeah, going to be handing over his law license, not going to be practicing law anytime soon, if ever. Last week in downtown La Crosse, a bunch of windows and doors, glass windows and doors,
that at
smashed
local businesses.
At a bunch of local businesses. One of those shops was Deaf Ear Records. Record Store Day coming up this weekend. Very excited to be sitting outside at 4 in the morning.
Well, and not just, a little bit of glass. We're talking about that tempered glass.
Huge plate glass window.
Very expensive
Floor to ceiling, the whole 9 yards. Jason Mills, who owns Deaf Ear Records, said they broke out the entire window, had to replace the entire thing. That's laminated glass, so it took a lot of effort to break it. According to the La Crosse County court records, as well as a criminal complaint from the district attorney's office, a 31-year-old named Prince Carter taken into custody in connection with the case. The complaint said that Carter was charged with several counts of criminal damage to property as well as disorderly conduct.
You didn't hear about any other specific businesses that had that same thing done? But
No, but it was a bunch of them, and it was last week, and I normally drive right past there, but I didn't see anything when I drove past it about 1:30 in the morning. This was on, I believe, Wednesday night of last week, so... But they arrested somebody in connection with the case. Carter has a bond hearing and currently in jail on a $1,000 cash bond, due back in court later this month. And yesterday, late in the morning, Brew Crew announcing the Bob Uecker Day coming up on August 24th.
Yes. More details about that celebration?
Yeah, so, we knew they were going to do something on opening day, having passed away just a few weeks ago.
Well, they had the video tribute and the signature on the turf.
Yep. But you figured they were going to have something special planned, an entire day of activities and remembrances and all that stuff. And that's exactly what they announced yesterday with the Bob Uecker special celebration at American Family Field on Sunday, August 24th.
Here it is. Yelich sends one to right center and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here and gone for Yelich.
This is going to be really cool. His longtime broadcast partner, Bob Costas, the legendary Bob Costas, will host a pregame program featuring rare video content and special guest appearances and a tribute to the beloved voice of the Brewers. During the game, fans will be able to enjoy in-game entertainment celebrating Uecker's remarkable career and his larger-than-life personality. All ticketed attendees will also receive an exclusive commemorative pin available only at the August 24th game.
That's cool.
The 50-50 raffle that'll be held during the event, which proceeds benefiting 3 different causes that Uecker supported throughout his life, including the Wounded Warrior Project, the ALS Association, and the Medical College of Wisconsin, the Bob Uecker Chair for Cancer Research. Brewers noted that additional announcements will be made as the event date gets closer.
That's all we got.
Sure.
One goddamn hit.
You can't say goddamn on the air.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Sunday, August 24th. Get your tickets now. If you don't have them, I sent the link to the story to the boss, and he said, oh, yeah, I got tickets.
Supposedly baseballs and bases for that particular game that will feature a Uecker Celebration logo. It will be used for that one game and that one game only. That's awesome.
And then probably going to the Hall of Fame.
Scoreboard
a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. To air regularly throughout the game. And it sounds like it's going to be on a Sunday. So
Sunday, August 24th.
Family Day.
The Bob Uecker celebration at Miller Park.
Post-game show is brought to you by... Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
I believe that there will be trips headed there.
Oh, I'm going on one of those.
On WiscoTrips.com.
I'm going to one of those.
They're not there yet, but I believe those are coming very, 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 very soon.
That's going to be a thing.
So keep checking there if you want to ride a bus with like-minded folk and enjoy the tailgate party and all that.
August 24th, Bob Uecker Celebration Day at AmFam Field / Miller Park, as the Brewers made the announcement yesterday. We've got more sports coming up in just a bit. Also some Breaking Benjamin. Right now it's Papa Roach.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Breaking Benjamin with their latest. Actually, that's not their latest. That's Angel's Fall. Sorry. My bad. Thought it was Awaken. Wasn't paying attention. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. NCAA men's basketball championship last night.
National championship is in the balance. Florida leads it by 2. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, Sharp. He won. He can't touch it. He can't. 1 second. And it's over. Florida is back on top of the college basketball world. It's a great day to be a Gator. They win the national title. Houston did not get a shot off. Florida 65, Houston 63.
The Gators winning the championship. Erasing a 12-point second-half deficit before holding on for the 65-63 win over Houston, the program's third NCAA title. Brewers were off yesterday. They're in Colorado tonight for the first of 3 against the Rockies. That's a 7:40 first pitch for the Brew Crew and the Rockies. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Brewerland, as we heard earlier, Euchre celebration going to be on Sunday, August 24th. Team making announcements about that yesterday. More news over the next couple of weeks as they get closer and closer. Got that commemorative pin they're going to be giving away to everybody that goes to the game. They're going to have Bob Costas doing some stuff, and the 50-50 raffle that day is going to go to 3 causes that were very important to Bob Euchre himself. Also, the Brewers made a trade yesterday, acquiring right-handed pitcher Quinn Priester from the Red Sox. Meanwhile, the Red Sox got a outfield prospect, a competitive balance selection in the upcoming draft, and a player to be named. No big names there, but Brewers obviously dealing with some injuries there in the bullpen and on the pitching staff, so trying to bolster that for the time being with Quinn Priester out of the Red Sox bullpen. 4 games left in the regular season for the Bucs. They start tonight at 7 o'clock at home against Minnesota before they move on to the playoffs. Badgers have landed a commitment from San Diego State Aztecs transfer guard Nick Boyd. Nick Boyd is a 6'3", 175-pound senior, has been on a visit to the state of Wisconsin for the last couple of days, I should say.
His family
he
stuff?
spent, come to the school and see what they got to offer. After spending 3 years at FAU, Boyd transferred to San Diego State last season, where he averaged 13.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 3.9 assists per game, while shooting 41.1% from the field. And
now he wants to be a Badger?
35.1% from 3 points, 3-point line. The Badgers have also picked up a couple of other commitments in the transfer portal, landing Virginia Cavaliers wing Andrew Rohde, and they got Portland forward Austin Rapp as well. So the Badgers
making some moves, doing some stuff.
Bolstering their lineup there in the offseason. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We got 10 years and just a bit. We'll let you know what's new on New Release Tuesday. Got a text from Noah. Said, good morning, Brian and Gene, your friendly neighborhood XL gas guy here. I say that because I live in the same neighborhood as Gene. She saw me almost eat bleep and fall down the hill behind my house while walking her dogs the other day.
Well, I was walking my dogs the other day. I guess I don't remember you falling down the hill, so that's good. You recovered, or you didn't look terrible doing it, I guess.
Anyway, doing some sniffing for leaks downtown.
Yes. Now I remember.
Wondering if you could play some Queen Strike.
You're right, Noah. I did see you.
T-Set wanted to hear some Volbeat this morning. I'll definitely get to that Queen Strike, and I'll try to get to that Volbeat as well. Noah, apparently, in your neighborhood,
yeah,
almost
now
fell down.
I remember. He was working. He was coming around the back of his house by his hot tub, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I'd see this, and he's like, I'm okay. All right, over here. We're good. I'm okay.
Noah. Come on, buddy.
Thanks, Noah.
We'll get to that Queen Strike for Noah in just a bit. Also try to squeeze that Volbeat in for T-Stet. RockMornings.com if you want to get in touch with us.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Now, an ordinary kid on taxes.
My mom asked, what do you know about taxes? I said, like the state was the Alamo? She said, no. Taxes, where you work for money and the government then takes some. That sounds totally sus. Mom said, with taxes, if you clean your room for $5, you'll only get $3.50. Man, what could I buy with that? Half a fruit snack? Mom said the only way to get out all taxes is to die or be a rich white guy. So, as of today, I identify as a rich white guy. Thank you.
This has been An Ordinary Kid on taxes.
It's a week away. Week from today, you got to put that envelope in the mail.
Not if you get an extension like us, because you don't have your.
I don't know if it's Doge or if it's what's going on in the government today, but this is the fastest our return has ever been processed. So we had to wait because our company has a stupid thing that we got to wait for until the middle of friggin' March. And when I finally got that, whatever it's called, the W-9 or KI-9 or whatever the hell it is, some stupid thing.
Some paperwork. You got some paperwork.
We had all the other stuff. We're sitting around waiting for a month for this stupid thing to come in the mail. It finally gets here. Then I bring it over to my guy, Jeff Schneider at Schneider Accounting and Tax. I drop it off, and then a week later, he's got our taxes all done. I showed up. I signed the paperwork. He had already filed it, e-filed, and all that stuff. Made sure the bank accounts are right. And then last week, which is less than a week after I got the paperwork back from our tax guy, I said to my wife, I should probably check and see, where our thing is with the IRS. Because normally, for all the years that we've been married, our state refund ends up in our account first, whereas the federal refund takes a lot longer.
Reversed order this year?
Yeah. She's like, oh, it's already pending. And I said, what? And I went and looked, and hell yeah. Doge, baby.
We're having an extension over here. We're extending.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You got all sorts of problems. Kids in college and houses getting paid off. And
my mom's house. And
mom's house getting sold and trusts and banks and LLCs and all this crap.
Yeah,
no thanks.
Extension. Thank you.
Yeah. Man, after my mom died, one of the first things we did was have a in-depth conversation with my wife's parents about, look, I know it sucks. I know it's...
Are things in order?
But we need to know. It's not so much, things are fine. You can't just say that anymore. Like, we have to have a legitimate, out-loud conversation about where stuff is and where it's at and who's doing what and who's got signatures and where's the paperwork and how do we get it and all that stuff. And I know... I know that sucks for old people, right? It's not a thing, especially parents of kids. They don't want to tell their kids where the secret passwords are. But I was like, you can't understand how infuriating it is as a child to try to go to your mom's house and figure all that stuff out when
you have no idea
when they held it so close to their,
what's up and what's down.
Oh,
or at least secret envelope of all the instructions somewhere hidden. If you don't want to talk about it or tell me where that is, at least with
which we were fine with. We need to make sure that we're on board with all this stuff because, look, you're
digging through file cabinets trying to find stuff
and thank God that I'm an only child and there were no other people to battle with when it came to any of that stuff. Not that there was much to battle about, but same with my wife, being an only child. When it all comes to an end, there won't be other people lining up to try to stake a claim to anything.
Well, even not that, just the confusion of all of it, too. Even if it isn't staking a claim, it's just I don't know where, and what do you do, and what do I do, and who's this, and who's that, and who's the medical, who's the,
all that stuff.
Yes.
All that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my aunt, my parents, before they died, made my aunt the medical person or whatever, the
power of attorney.
Not a power of attorney, the power of the medical decision person. Didn't ask her, didn't tell her, didn't know until my mom ended up in a facility and they saw the paperwork and my aunt was livid. And I had to deal with that. I'm like, I didn't know. I had no idea. And she's like, I don't want it. I'm like, then don't take it. I said, I got it. I understand. But
talk to people. You got to have conversations.
Anyways,
taxes.
Weird rant about taxes. A week away. Got to get those taxes finished or get an extension.
Yep.
Television tonight / today on Hulu, The Handmaid's Tale, season 6 premiere of that today on Hulu.
That's
Final season, right? Mm-hmm. Also on Netflix today, the My Next Guest Needs No Introduction, the David Letterman sit-down show. This time he's sitting down with Caitlin Clark.
Fun.
Talking
interesting.
To her.
Yeah.
With his big Santa beard. New episode of Daredevil Born Again on Disney+. I was watching a couple of those yesterday. First season finale of Denise Richards and Her Wild Things on Bravo tonight.
No thanks.
You want to hear about Denise Richards getting naked on OnlyFans?
I think it's her and her daughters and stuff.
Whatever. Series premiere of The Clubhouse, A Year with the Red Sox. That's on Netflix. I'll watch it because I'm a Red Sox fan. I don't know if I care all that much about a year in the clubhouse of the Red Sox. Also, new episodes of Will Trent, The Cleaning Lady, FBI, The Rookie, Alert, Missing Persons Unit, FBI International, and FBI Most Wanted. Triple H and Gigi Hadid are going to be on with Jimmy Fallon, David Alan Grier, and Malcolm Todd on with Jimmy Kimmel, Woody Harrelson, and Michael Lewis on with Stephen Colbert, and Walton Goggins and Sadie Sink going to be on with Seth Meyers tonight. Not a lot on New Release Tuesday. Really only one film, and it's not one you've ever heard of. It's called Devil's Night, and it stars Eric Roberts and Kevin Sorbo, so you know it's going to be good. In the medieval world of Veroka, monsters and demons alike roam and terrorize humankind. The Bone Devil has plagued the kingdom of Remini for years. Yada, yada, yada.
Okay, I can pass.
Devil's Night, and it's spelled Knight. Hunters must use every skill they have obtained from around the globe to destroy this ancient evil. That sounds like a real piece of crap.
That sounds, pass. Sounds like I can pass on that.
Devil's Night. New on DVD. That's it for New Release Tuesday. Noah wanted to hear that Queen strike after he fell down the hill behind his house and saw you walking your dogs.
He didn't actually fall. He did one of those, where you correct yourself and you end up standing upright or staying upright, but it wasn't graceful.
Also got a text from T-Stet, wanted to hear some Volbeat. We'll get to that later on. Right now, it's that Queen strike.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Oh, that sounds good. Any day of the week. Queensryche, Jet City Woman for Noah. Friendly neighborhood XL gas guy. Lives in the same neighborhood as Gene. Mm-hmm. Saw me almost eat bleep and fall down the hill behind my house while walking her dogs the other day. Said he was doing some sniffing for leaks downtown. Wanted to hear some Queensryche. Did that. You're welcome. What was he doing back there?
Oh, it's his backyard. It's it's just a.
Was he cleaning up brush or was he just walking around back there?
I don't know I didn't check it out. I just know he was back there and it's his hill, his yard kind of has a slope to it.
I got to get some stuff done. Once I feel better this week, I got so much crap I got to do. Last night I was laying awake and I'm like, got to do that. I got a stump guy coming over today. Went to the home show a couple weekends ago and ran into a stump company talking about trees and stumps. I got that one stump in my backyard that I want to turn into a legitimate fire pit, not like some portable thing that I just drag around my yard. Those things are crap. Anytime we've ever bought one, they don't last. The wheels melt. They're just awful. Noah said he was changing the water in his hot tub.
That's what I knew he was messing around somewhere.
Got the grassy hill all wet and slippery. Yeah, that happens. That'll happen. Be careful out there, Noah.
Getting better out weather-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Today, it looks like we are going to see some sun in upper 40s and maybe 50s by the weekend. 60s next week.
Yeah, looking at 60s by the weekend. Mid-50s by Friday. Into the 60s, hopefully, this weekend. So, going to be nice. A little bit of sunshine right now. Maybe some clouds rolling in later on. Lincoln Park in just a bit. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Crawling from Lincoln Park on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. There's plenty of people out there that say that in this day and age, we're more divided than ever, especially when it comes to politics.
Or kind of things in general. You could say it's sunny out right now.
It is sunny. I think everyone would agree.
No, they won't.
But here's something. Show us solidarity, reaching across the aisle, if you will.
I love these stories.
In the world of politics, taking on something that's a little bit bigger, a little more impactful, a little more meaningful. Boise, Idaho. A handful of Idaho lawmakers shaving their heads in solidarity with Representative Brooke Green, who is battling breast cancer. She's a Democrat. They're Republicans. A group of Republican representatives took a little off the top in between sessions at a salon last week. Representative Brooke Green, a Democrat from Idaho, said, quote, "I didn't expect this. It was a bit of a surprise. It was so heartfelt to see my colleagues, all my male colleagues, stand with me in solidarity and shave their heads.
That's so great.
I was diagnosed for my first time in July with breast cancer and subsequently got a second diagnosis this past January, and so it happened to coincide with the start of the legislative session. She has been gone for a portion of the legislative session this year. We'll be starting chemotherapy this week." Representative Mike Pohanka, who's a Republican from Idaho, said Brooke was saying how she was going to lose her hair. So I said, "Well, Brooke, how about if I clip my head bald?" Asked a couple of his fellow lawmakers if they would want to shave their heads as well. Said we have about 12 legislators on the House side that said, "Yep, I'll step up to the plate, get my head clipped bald to support our fellow Representative Brooke Green." There's some others that support her as well, but don't want to lose their hair. Pohanka, said, "My wife is a breast cancer survivor. She'll be 5 years clear this May, and just to be here for them, to let them know they're not fighting the fight by themselves is everything's." But yeah. The haircuts, by the way, one day after the governor, Brad Little, signed House Bill 134 into law, sponsored by Green. It expands coverage for supplemental breast cancer screenings. If you're a high-risk woman in Idaho for breast cancer, you are now eligible for one additional enhancement screening, which could be an MRI, an ultrasound, or contrast mammogram per year. She hopes that new law will help save lives in early detection.
Mm-hmm. Early detection is the key there.
But
well,
good to
for
see
her and her representatives or friends or colleagues joining in to show support. That's heartening, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Little reach across the aisle doesn't hurt. I can't imagine having a hurricane rip through your community and destroy property, upend lives, lose your animals, and then 5 years later, your dog gets returned by some frat bros. This is crazy. A group of frat bros at the University of Southern Mississippi reuniting a woman with her lost dog 5 years after he went missing. He's a Yorkie. His name is Kingston. Looks kind of like Benji.
How did these frat boys end up with him?
Disappeared 300 miles away after Hurricane Laura back in 2020. The president of the school's Kappa Sigma chapter says Kingston showed up on their front porch last week.
Shut up.
They got the microchip scan, tracked down the owner, never thought she'd see the dog again.
I'm
Reunion.
sure.
Very emotional reunion if you haven't seen the video.
I never thought I would see him again.
And I walk outside, and there's just this Yorkie just sitting there in a red T-shirt. The next day, our vice president went and got his chip checked, and that's when we found out that his name was actually Kingston, not Benji, and he had been missing for 5 years, which is kind of crazy.
But before I could call him, he called me. My heart just started pounding, and I told my boss, I was like, I found Kingston. And we both just started yelling and screaming out. He's so beautiful. So happy to have my baby back.
Holy cow.
Debbie LaFleur is the name of the owner. Never thought I'd see him again.
Well, 5 years. You're gonna say that dog's gone.
Went missing from Lake Charles, Louisiana after Hurricane Laura back in 2020, and earlier last week turned up 300 miles away from home on the back porch of the Kappa Sigma fraternity house on the University of Southern Mississippi campus. Wearing his little red T-shirt. They started calling him Benji because he's a Yorkie, looks kind of like Benji, but took him in, had a microchipped scan, and
you just can't believe that nobody found him in those
all
5
those years.
years.
Right.
And had him scanned and figured out where he belonged and got him back home again. I mean, where was he? What was he doing?
I wonder if the microchip is able to have any data on it in terms of where he went. Probably not. Usually they just contain like a, vet,
the owner
vet records and owner information.
You wonder if somebody took him in and just had him as their pet, and never got him a scan for a microchip, found him or something, or took care of him, because it's a long time. Good job, frat bros.
They also made Kingston a honorary fraternity brother at the frat house.
Cool on them, though. 5
years. Ugh. Got some Metallica in a couple minutes. If you need something, you can find us online at rockmornings.com. Let us know if you got something you want to hear. Try to get to that Volbeat for T-Stat in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
When was the last time you donated blood?
It's been too long. Last year. Last fall.
It's been a number of years. I don't know why I stopped. I was doing it, every 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever the allotted time is that you can do it for a while, and then I think I went in one time and my blood pressure was way out of whack, and that was when I started to freak out about it, and I had to go in and get blood pressure medicine and all that stuff, and I think I just sort of was like, well, maybe don't get your blood pressure read every 6 weeks and then you won't have to worry about it kind of thing. I still take a blood pressure med every day, but anyways, I haven't donated in a long, long time, but I think I'm going to donate at the end of this month when we go to Nashville because Metallica. Have you heard about this? They partnered. This is a great idea. This is a genius. They partnered up with the American Red Cross to encourage blood donations across the U.S. during their M72 World Tour. You think of the thousands and thousands of people that are going there for the entire weekend. Maybe you go in the day before you go to see the show, or maybe the day in between the two shows.
So the drives are at the locations of which they play, or just...
Through their nonprofit foundation, the All Within My Hands Foundation, the band aiming to ensure hospital blood supplies remain steady throughout the summer, a time when donations typically dip.
Yep.
We've heard about that for years. Fans attending select tour stops, including the one on June 20th and 22nd at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, that's in San Francisco, will have the opportunity to donate blood. In exchange, each donor will receive a limited edition Metallica t-shirt while supplies last.
That's cool.
Darren Irby, the executive director of national partnerships for the Red Cross, said the band and their foundation are committed to making every tour stop a better place, and this selfless act of rallying fans to donate blood will leave a life-saving legacy to so many communities. Blood donations critical for a wide range of patients, trauma victims. You can book appointments, by the way, in advance by going to redcrossblood.org/Metallica to find out more. Of course, I just clicked on the link from the San Francisco Chronicle page, and it says 404, page not found.
Not right now.
Maybe they didn't put the right link in there, but I'll take a look and see if we can get a donation scheduled while we're in Nashville. Going to see Metallica for a couple of days.
I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank.
Go to the blood bank. Get a free t-shirt out of the deal.
I'm looking at the Red Cross website. Metallica, a sea of hearts beat as one, unified. So one donation, one T, one epic cause. And it looks like Metallica blood drives are in Nashville.
Nice. Well, I'll probably schedule myself for once and maybe talk to the wife, see if she wants to join me.
Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Texas, California, Colorado, and New York.
Some ice cream out of the deal, too.
Schedule your donation today, right there.
Maybe a nanner. A nanner and some ice cream.
A cookie?
Cookie, like the cookies.
Yeah.
Maybe they got some kind of special food down there in Nashville that I've never seen before.
Hot chicken.
I don't know if they're going to be doing hot chicken at the blood drive.
That's what I'm going to do.
Bleeding Me from Metallica seemed appropriate.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Metallica with Bleeding Me. On Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, blood donations at some of their concert locations throughout the U.S. on their M72 World Tour. Looks like only Tuesday the 29th when they're in Nashville, which is a day before we even leave.
Some days, some stops have more opportunities than others. That one just has that one day that they're doing it. But T-shirts while they last, as you mentioned, and you get taken really good care of when you give blood with the Red Cross.
Text from Pam said, we're going to Nashville to see Metallica as well. Just planned it last week.
Oh.
They're going to both shows, and they're staying close to the stadium. I said, I have no idea where we're staying. My wife handles all that crap.
Mm-hmm. Well, last week, that was kind of last minute.
Yeah, very last minute.
Mm-hmm. Secondary market tickets, I'm guessing.
The Brew Crew off yesterday. Start a 3-game series in Colorado against the Rockies tonight, 7:40 first pitch. The Bucks have 4 games left in the regular season. Starting tonight at 7 o'clock, they're at home against Minnesota, the T-Wolves. And, of course, last night, the NCAA Men's National Championship decided Florida Gators erasing a 12-point second-half deficit before holding on for a 65-63 win over Houston.
Yeah, that was something not a lot of people expected with the Duke thing and the brackets that survived.
Yeah. Tigers assistant GM Sam Menzin, M-E-N-Z-I-N, Menzin, resigning late last week after an internal investigation revealed that he had allegedly sent unsolicited photos of his dick to multiple women on staff.
Who's this?
The assistant GM for the Tigers, the Detroit Tigers. Menzin resigned before the Tigers acted on their plan to fire him for improper workplace conduct. 2 women who work for the Tigers told The Athletic that Menzin had sent them photos of his dick via Snapchat. I told you I used to work for a minor league hockey team in town, and there were young girls in their 20s that told me that's just how guys are now.
And you were like, "What?
It blew my mind. Like, do people not have shame anymore or Catholic guilt? I mean, like, I would never send a picture of my wiener to anybody. And certainly not as a, like, hey, how's it going?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, maybe if you guys were in a thing, but just not
I'm not saying it happens all the time. I'm just telling you my experience with these younger girls telling me that. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. They're like, oh, yeah, we get dick pics all the time from
and
guys.
You're like,
and I was like, really? Just like out of the blue?
Like,
and they're
hey, you want to have some...
And I don't even think it was that. I think a lot of them just think it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, here's my wiener. And like, okay. That's the generation we're living in.
Want to have some pizza some night? Here's this.
Maybe it was the amount of work that went into sending wiener pictures when we were kids. Because you couldn't do it with a phone.
Yeah.
You had to go get a Polaroid camera. Because you weren't going to have them developed at the photo mart. You know what I mean? Like,
although some
hey,
people
Mom.
did.
No, I know, but I'm just like, you know, you would have to go get a Polaroid camera, take a picture of it, get someone's address, and then mail it to them. And then there's photo evidence to, like, put it in court. Like, yes, ma'am, right here. There's a actual...
Or hand it to them. Like, hey,
at school?
Hey.
I don't know. Very strange to me.
So that's what he did to a number of people? Is that what you're saying?
Well, as far as I know, there was 2 that said that he did. There may have been more that accused him of it. But Mark Murphy of the Green Bay Packers, talking about the tush-push ban, said, quote, I think it ended up in a good place. This is a one-on-one interview released last week on the Packers YouTube channel. Of course, the Packers introducing the suggestion to the owners' meetings that they ban the tush-push, and they tabled that conversation. He said, we ended up tabling it, but we had really good discussions, talked a little bit about our safety concerns regarding the play, just kind of the style of the play, but good interaction with the league, so it'll be tabled, and then what we're going to do is it'll be voted on in the May meetings.
Go, Pack, go!
It's more a rugby play than a football play, just kind of go back to what used to be the rule. In 2005, the league did away with the rule that you couldn't push runners. We're going to go back and see the language we had in 2004. I'm optimistic. I think it's dumb. You can't stop it, so you want to ban it. It has absolutely nothing to do with player safety. Nobody's getting hurt in that play. Nobody. Certainly not the kind of injuries that you see that are disastrous in the NFL.
Right.
I mean, you may get a hand stepped on or something like that, or somebody may get smushed, but it's not like a receiver getting blown up with his head taken off in the middle of the field. You just can't stop it. Nobody can stop it. And so you want to ban it.
But they're investigating it more? They're not really banning it? That's what you're saying? They're putting
again,
tabling it or
they
whatever?
tabled it. They'll have some more meetings in May, and then they'll see if they want to vote on it. I don't know. Learn to stop it. Now, if the Eagles won every Super Bowl for the last 10 years, and they were the only team who could do it, and this was the reason why, all right, maybe you take a look at it, right? You've got an unfair advantage, right? The NFL does not want that. But let's be honest here. You're just mad because you can't stop it. It has nothing to do with player safety. Last but not least, a former California resident pleading guilty yesterday to selling hundreds of thousands of dollars in fake memorabilia, including items authorities say were reportedly signed by famous athletes, actors, and celebrities in a scheme dating all the way back to 2010. Has been doing it for 15 years. Anthony J. Tremaine, formerly residing in West Covina, California, now lives in Mexico, appeared in U.S. District Court in Santa Ana, California, pleading guilty to one count of mail fraud, faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison. The U.S. District Judge James Selna scheduling a sentencing for August 11th, according to court documents from 2010 until 2019.
So he was taking the stuff?
This guy advertised memorabilia in Orange County and L.A. County, among other places, sometimes included a certificate of authenticity to certify the signatures were real. Federal officials say the signatures were fake and the certificates were bogus. He admitted to selling more than $250,000 and up to $550,000 in fake memorabilia.
Oh,
so, yeah,
boy.
you buy a jersey from China online for $40.
A football or a basketball,
and then you
it
fake
is.
a signature. You go online, you see what it looks like, you copy it as best you can,
and you make a certificate
and you
of
make
authenticity.
bogus certificates. Yeah, and then
Ugh. That's
federal prison. That's not
illegal. It's
he's going to
that's
he's
not
going
a
to
good-
federal prison, not county jail. He's going to federal prison.
That is it's not a good get-rich-quick scheme.
We'll get to some wage war in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
That is Wage War with Blur on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. You know what day it is, right, Gene?
No. Tuesday?
Rex Manning Day.
Rex Manning Day.
Oh, Rexy, you're so sexy.
Call me on my coffin with a je ne sais quoi. You say you need a little of my hula-la.
No.
What's happening?
Empire Records.
Oh, yes.
One of the
okay.
greatest movies of all time.
Yes.
They're running every way. Say no more no more.
Here's how you do it.
Oh, Rexy, you're so sexy. It's Rex Manning Day.
Okay, what are we doing to celebrate?
Well, you got to get a different chair. You got to bring out some fresh fruits, and you got to bang them in the back office.
I got to get a different chair for right here.
Oh, Rex Manning did not like the original chair, wanted a different chair, so he got a second chair. And then at the end, you get to tell him that nobody likes his album and you think his haircut looks like crap. Rex Manning
Fresh
Day.
fruit, new chair. Got it.
Rex Manning Day. No.
All right.
And also, today is National Empanada Day. Eat some empanadas while you're
On your
enjoying
new
some
chair.
Rex Manning and your new chair. Draw a bird day. When was the last time you drew a bird?
Oh, very long time ago. My dad, though, that was like one of his things.
Love drawing birds?
He was like,
Or just birds?
he was good at lots of things. Mostly a good shot with a gun. Could
Yeah.
kill
Well, yeah, farm
anything
guy.
from
Hell yeah.
far away. Was a farmer, could fix anything, could grow anything, could take care of animals, all that stuff.
But birds?
But he could draw birds. Like he wasn't an artist
Detailed?
in any other way, really. It wasn't like he drew
Just had
other
a
things, but man, he could
affinity
draw
for drawing
a bird.
birds. All right.
He could draw that.
Well,
hell out of a bird.
today's his day. Hank, right?
No, my dad, Jim.
Oh,
Jimmy.
sorry, Jim. And Be Kind to Lawyers Day as well. Rex Manning Day, be kind to lawyers. Don't be like that psycho in Fond du Lac that attacked her attorney several times after dismembering a guy. Maybe put her in restraints next time you bring her into the courtroom.
Be nice to lawyers.
Also, National Empanada Day. Also, a couple of things. Right now, my timeline on social media is filled with news of the dire wolf making its way back into reality.
Me too.
So science found a way to bring back an extinct species, the dire wolf, through a tooth and like a chip in a skull, right? Wasn't that the deal?
10,000 years or something? They thought it was extinct, or I mean,
So
like
we're getting woolly mammoths then soon. Like, it's going to happen. We're going to get T-Rex. We're going to get dinosaurs. Bro, they just brought them back. They're going to take a gator and its DNA, and they're going to get some DNA from a T-Rex and a fly that's in some amber, and we're getting T-Rexes, bitches.
That's not happening. These are animals that are very close, obviously, to existing
Yeah.
animals.
Have you seen an alligator? It's a friggin' dinosaur.
It's not a duck.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Tell me what it looks like if it ain't a dinosaur.
It looks like a big lizard.
It is. It's a dinosaur. It's one step away from dinosaurs.
We're not getting T-Rexes.
It said rather than be upright and roaming around looking for food up in the trees and stuff, I'm going to just wallow in the mud.
These are genetically engineered wolves, though.
Yeah, dire wolves.
That may resemble them.
That is dominating my timeline right now on social media. However, on Friday, this was what was dominating my timeline.
I'm out here all the time, bro.
I'm 300 days a year on the f***ing water.
All right, bro.
Every day, I'm the best charter captain you'll ever meet in your
All right, bro.
Cuss me out.
Chill, bro. Chill, bro. Please, bro. Please, okay, please, bro. Please, bro. Please, bro. Bro, I'm a kid, bro. Please.
Apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
You're gonna cuss me the
All right, bro.
in the middle of the
Bro, please, bro. Please, bro.
my boat.
Okay, please.
Fucking apologize.
I'm sorry, bro. That was not me, bro.
Yes, it was.
I was here, but my buddy was on the
me
boat.
back to my
Sir, I'm a kid, bro. Please,
I
bro.
don't care. You don't cuss me
Yes,
the
sir.
out.
All
and
right.
talk to me, my.
Yes, sir.
You don't do it.
I'm sorry, man. I wasn't, like, cussing you out,
Yes,
though, bro.
you were, dude.
I was driving the boat.
Did
Okay.
you not call me a
No, bro.
Yes,
that was
you did,
that was my friend on the. Okay, I'm sorry, bro.
That was your friend on the boat.
I'm sorry, bro.
Your friend, I'll look at it and come
Yes,
on your
sir.
friend and you both up.
Yes, sir.
Do it again and watch what happens. Get back on this boat.
I tried to watch this yesterday, but it got real like that
I'm sorry,
real
bro.
fast.
Like,
I got to be honest. I know the guy's in the wrong, but if I was on a boat and some kid kept saying bro to me over and over, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd lose it just strictly for the bro. Bro. And I'm a guy who doesn't know people's names, so I use bro and dude and man all the time because I forget people's names. But if you're just constantly saying bro over and over and over again to me while I'm on the water here, I'm gonna react like that
He's
dude.
the best sea captain, though.
He is. Oh, he was. I don't know if that's going to be his title anymore, but the video, of course, went super duper viral on Friday, and everybody was sharing the story. And now the Florida boat captain, who went viral in that video for jumping on that kid's boat, and the kid takes off and he's screaming at him, bro, no, bro, no, bro. He was like a skipping CD. That kid, bro. He did bro. I'm a kid, bro. Ding, 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 ding. I mean, like, seriously. What's the over-under on the bros? He's been arrested and charged after he was captured on camera in a viral confrontation with another fisherman out there.
Welcome aboard the Black Pearl, Miss Turner.
The footage titled "Charter Captain Jumps on My Boat and Tries to Fight Me for No Reason," which, of course, only shows the interaction from the one side. Yes. That's the problem with these videos. There obviously was something that set this guy off. It was some other person that went through an area in the channel and all that stuff.
Where they were fishing, and
thousands, if not millions of views on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
This conflict occurred on April Fool's Day between a 22-year-old named Gage Towles and the 40-year-old captain, Brock Horner.
Right.
Horner owns Tarpon Coast Fishing Charters and has been arrested and charged with burglary, with assault, or battery following an investigation.
He entered the guy's boat without permission or whatever, boarded the boat.
Yeah, he jumped on board. He said, take me back to my boat, bro.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Towles, the kid, fishing alone in a boat near a bridge when Horner and 4 other men approach him in another boat, and then it just goes crazy, as you heard there. Yes. And then he ends up getting on the kid's boat. The kid tries to take off and is apologetic. At one point in the video, he was mentioning that he's a veteran and that he brings guys out all the time, and
By the way, he's apologized to Gage's family, and to anyone who was frightened or upset by what he saw. He says it's important to remember we are not a sum of our worst day. That video captured one moment, not all of who I am. By the way, his business is really suffering because of this. Obviously, his family, including his wife and his mother, have been harassed and threatened. Some have gone so far as to question his military service. Come on now.
Yeah. Which you kind of knew was going to happen. I mean, anytime you have a moment like this and you go full Karen, all that stuff's going to come into question. And it's unfortunate. It shouldn't be the case. And I agree with him that, look, dude, we all have a bad day. And whatever it was, it set him off. And maybe he was legitimately, deservedly upset about what happened. It was something that shouldn't have. But we didn't see that part of the video, and for those of us who don't know, the only thing we see is that guy freaking out and the kid calling him bro a million times.
I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Savvy.
But thankfully, that has quieted down, and now it's dire wolves, like I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, I tried to watch that video yesterday. I couldn't make it through. It's too much. too much bro and too much anger and too much
bro,
him just screaming at him. And I'm like,
bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I would be just like that captain. I'd be so pissed. Some punk kid
took his boat through the thing and
come through the area where I got fishing guys out here that paid a lot of money to have a good time and catch some kind of special sea bass. And this a-hole kid comes through here at 1,000,000 miles an hour, not paying attention, bro. I'm on TikTok, bro. I'm making TikTok videos, bro. With my broccoli hair, bro. I'd lose my bleep. I would. I'd be that guy. I'd be the captain.
You gotta remember.
I don't know if I'd step on his boat or something, but I would have a freak out. I'd have a meltdown.
And you notice he's by himself, and he's obviously younger.
Bro. Stop calling me bro. How about we start there?
Quit playing with your dinghy.
Yeah.
How many times? 100.
Well, and that was 1 minute and 30 seconds of the video. It was much longer. The actual original video was a couple minutes long.
That's why I quit. I tapped out.
I'll give him credit, too, though, for as much as he escalated, he didn't put his hands on the kid. I mean, he got on his boat, and he was a step away from putting that kid in the water, but he did not put his hands on the kid. I guess kudos to him on that aspect.
I told you if you were ever a shrimp boat captain that I'd be your first mate. Well, here I am. I am a man of my word.
Yeah, so he's apologized, and hopefully people can and to this kid's family too. I think, which is speaks a lot.
As a nation, we'll move past it because something else will catch our we'll catch out our interest or whatever. But his attorney says since the video went viral, Brock's business has been destroyed, his reputation damaged, and his family, including his wife and mother, have been harassed and even threatened. Which
that's not cool.
Yeah. Decorated veteran, served in Afghanistan, suffered a traumatic brain injury in combat. Yeah. Ay.
Dire wolves, look them up.
At least
it's interesting.
I saw that yesterday. I was like, man, that's kind of neat. And then all of a sudden, bam, everybody on Facebook's like, dire wolves. Like, is this something we've all been waiting for? And I wasn't a part of the group. I wasn't a part of the group session or like everybody I know is all jacked up about dire wolves. Let me know when we get the dinosaurs and the woolly mammoths, because those got to be coming. Right?
Like I said, this is a species close to what we have.
All right. Disturbed.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Ryan says the Brock captain is the one who was the one driving fast under the bridge. He was mad because there was a different boat that didn't have its lights on fishing under the bridge, and he thought it was the bro kid. Also, I was so sick of the word bro after watching.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Rob texted in and said, bringing back extinct wolves, nothing could go wrong here until we revive the T-Rex like in Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know they're already working on the woolly mammoth. They've been talking about it. You got fully preserved ones out there in the ice. Get some of their DNA, hook it up with an elephant. Next thing you know, woolly mammoth.
Maybe it's the Game of Thrones thing. I think those wolves were in the Game of Thrones, and so that's what everybody's passion is.
All that stuff.
Yeah. But cool and interesting and cutting edge.
Somebody else texted in, said, freak out dumbass was a vet, but a POG, personnel other than grunt. He claimed he was a badass, but talks that he was a ranger or some crap that he didn't do. Yeah, I have no idea who the guy is. I didn't go down a wormhole to try to figure out what his military service was. Not my job.
Care.
I'm not going to, if the guy says he's a vet, I'm going to believe him until proven otherwise.
Happened with
all I know is
that
kid said bro too many goddamn times. Someone needs to get that kid in a room and say, listen, dude, use man, use dude, use guy. Every once in a while, something besides bro. Because you keep saying bro, you're going to get punched in the mouth at some point. Some guy that is not as reserved as that guy is going to punch you for saying bro too many times.
I do like the fact that he was fishing. You know what I mean? Like a kid going out fishing and taking that on is like something he really likes for sport and hobby. That's really cool to see, and was out there by himself doing that. So I think that's really neat. But yeah, his dad's probably going to be like, Gage, we got to talk about the bro.
The same person that I just read that text from said, as a vet, we look into it, bro. And that's great. I think you should. I mean, whatever. I'm going to believe someone that tells me they're a veteran. It's not for me to question whether or not they are. Now, if I find out that they're not and they're using stolen valor, shame on them. Shame on them. All that stuff. But
bro, Gage is family gonna have a bro conversation, probably.
Maybe Uncle sits him down and says, look, dude, Gage, what's up with all the bros?
I know you panicked because a grown-up was, like, freaking out and yelling at you, and you were trying to calm the situation down, but you could just say, hey, what's going on?
I also don't know that once the guy jumps on the boat, is speeding off with just me and him on the boat is the best idea. And again, freaking out, probably never been in a situation like that before, but
minor.
All of a sudden, the guy who's really angry and yelling and screaming at me and cursing me out and is, violence looming, gets on my boat, and what I'm going to do is go away with him on the boat where he can violent me all he wants out here in the ocean? Nah. No, I'm jumping off the boat. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Help.
I got a better chance in the water.
Help. Someone help.
Yeah. Got a text from Paul who said, wish that bro would just go away. Don't worry. Something else is going to
that was
clog up your timeline here in another 15 minutes. We'll get to Bush next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We've been talking about spring cleaning the last couple of weeks. Lots of different things in your house. Need to get that deep clean. We start to open up the windows. Got to do those, right? Got to clean those windows. Got my guy coming over in May. Do my windows. Pull the stove out, the fridge out. Clean behind all that crap.
Yep.
Junk drawer. Maybe go through that bad boy. Throw away a few things. Closet. Get rid of some of those clothes.
Yes. As you change out seasons with your clothes, am I really going to wear this? Get rid of it.
What about a digital spring cleaning?
Like folders, like files, like photos, like videos, like all of that kind of stuff.
There's a new survey out about digital clutter, and it's crazy. The average American has 1,044 unread emails.
My mind just hurt.
12 unread text messages, 17 unread social media notifications, 11 unread app messages, 15 open browser tabs. I've told you this, I get the heebie-jeebies every time I go in the boss's office and I see how many tabs are open on his computer. It's psychotic.
He's making that average because I've got like 8 right now, I think.
It's like that guy that I helped sign up for a contest once, and he couldn't figure out why his phone was so slow. And I said, you have 99 tabs open on your phone. Do you think that could affect the performance? And what do you need? Do you even know what these? He's like, I didn't even know I had them open, bro.
Right.
Yeah. 9 unused smartphone apps.
Yeah, sure. You get the app and then nothing happens.
And 2 pending software updates. I don't know if a partridge in a pear tree is included in that, but that is a recent survey about digital clutter. Again, 1,044 unread emails. That is unread emails and text messages, not unanswered.
Yeah, but are they unread in your other folder? Because my other folder fills up with stuff all the time that I address once in a while.
I think I have over 4,000 deleted emails in the deleted items folder, but I won't completely delete them because I never know if I have to go back and reference another email.
Plus, I have multiple email accounts. Like my Gmail, I use only for the places where I have to use it to log into this or that or whatever, but I don't use it for communication, so I hardly check those ever.
Also, according to this survey about digital cleaning, not everybody can handle leaving something unseen. 63% of people say they currently have 0 unread text messages. Bam, I got 0.
Yeah, me too.
I've said this before. I like to have things neat and tidy. I'm not a big unanswered.
But I can see where some of these stats I fit into because of the multiple email accounts or the other folders or whatever.
Another 54% of people say they have no unread social media notifications.
That for sure I do. For sure.
I can't keep up with them. I get too many stupid Facebook messages from people about the dumbest things.
I can't.
Email, they say, is harder. 32% of people claim they have 0 unread emails.
0 in my core email work box.
Those are all read,
sure.
Yeah. Some more stats from this survey about digital spring cleaning. 77% of people feel that digital clutter negatively impacts their life, while 50% say they get frustrated because digital clutter makes it difficult to find apps and files they need, and 31% of people have paid to upgrade a device to one with more storage because of digital clutter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm surprised pictures and stuff isn't in there. I think the girls have 9,000 or something like that.
I've occasionally have sat, I'll be in my massage chair and I'll go through and I'll just be like, oh, I already shared that, delete, or it's a screen cap that happened. I wasn't even aware of.
Sometimes I do that, but
But then you're like, okay, keep going. It's
and they've gotten bigger devices just because of the storage.
I need a weekend to go through all this crap.
It's never happening.
And then you go to the phone store and the guy's like, well, if you share it with the cloud and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro,
I can't, bro.
I promise I won't use it again after today. I won't.
Okay.
It's just, I'm doing it for a fact.
I know you are.
I find it funny. Volbeat now, their latest. It's by a monster's hand.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Some of the new stuff from Volbeat that is by a monster's hand on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The Friggin' Sports!
What fun thing happened?
I would not call this fun.
Okay.
A member of the Rio Rancho High School junior varsity baseball team who allegedly urinated into the water cooler of the La Cueva High School baseball team is now facing 15 counts of battery.
So they were the visiting team, and
Not sure who was home and who was visiting, but basically, a junior varsity baseball player went over into the opposing team's dugout, opened up the top of the Gatorade cooler, which, you see the celebration at the end of the game, took a whiz, and then closed it and let them all drink his pee water. And now the kid's facing 15 counts of battery. 16-year-old kid, not named in the news release issued by the police department, facing the charges in connection to a Rio Rancho High School home game against La Cueva High School back on March 25th. So it was a home game.
So they're visiting, they're there, the kid goes into their dugout. Was this before the game then?
Either their dugout or their, whatever training facility they had the water jugs in. But the police department added that it could not release further details, citing an active investigation involving a minor. The charges will be forwarded to juvenile probation and parole. Police department did not provide any more information about the case. Earlier in the week, the player in question admitted to urinating in the jug. And La Cueva principal David Garcia told families in a letter on Monday, apologizing to the families for their students' behavior and urged them to consult a physician if they think their child drank from the jug. Well, yeah, it's kind of what we do in baseball. You got a big jug and everybody takes a cup and you fill that up and you have a swig and rumors of the player from Rio Rancho High School's JV baseball team peeing in the opponent's water cooler surfacing a few days ago, resulting in the suspension of the team's season.
Oh, my.
So not just this kid getting in trouble and getting charged, but the rest of the team now suffering as well. Albuquerque Public Schools releasing a letter to the families of the La Cueva High School's JV baseball team, informing them of the incident. Also revealing that the student had admitted to the despicable behavior and that authorities were looking into the matter.
Whole season's canceled for all the players. That's drag.
A statement from Albuquerque Public Schools saying, quote, "We're glad authorities in Rio Rancho took this matter seriously and filed criminal charges. Outrageous behavior like this must be met with swift consequences to send the message that it's unacceptable and will not be tolerated." Yeah, and I think the real lesson the kid will learn is from his team's suffering at his stupid actions.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to face all that stuff on your own, but the team suffering and having their season terminated because of your stupidity, that's where hopefully the real learning comes into play. But the friggin' sports brought to you by Pee in a Bucket. We'll get to Spirit Box and Bad News Happy Music. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some Haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some hashtag Florida Man for flavor.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man.
Florida man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
You know me, I love a good massage.
I know that.
There have been times, though, where I've been concerned because the lady that I go to does a really good job. I like a really deep, strong massage. I'm not there for the whimsical oils and lotions and hot stones and crap like that.
Necessarily.
No,
You want
I'm there for work.
Yep.
There's a purpose to this massage. I've got knots and kinks and problems.
I want to be sore when I leave here.
Yes. I want to be sore for a week. Well, apparently that's what happened to this guy who almost died from his massage.
Why?
26-year-old man in China almost died from a neck massage that was a little too firm. Apparently his neck had been hurting from working too much and sitting at his desk all day, so he booked an appointment at a local massage parlor.
That's when mine hurts all the time.
Said it felt great until the masseuse did a more rigorous maneuver. That's when he felt a sharp pain in his neck, followed by a massive headache.
If you're massaging your neck, you got to make sure you avoid the anterior area here. And the reason for that is that you don't have much muscle in this area, but then you have vessels such as the vein and the carotid artery. It could cause dissection, meaning the artery walls could dissect or rupture, and that could lead to a stroke. And I've seen strokes before in patients who have high velocity manipulation of their neck. And that's why it's important to avoid massaging the anterior neck, because that could lead to a carotid dissection, that could lead to a stroke.
That is a doctor named Iver Arias talking about how you could have a stroke from a massage. The guy went to the ER the next morning after he woke up with slurred speech and numbness on his left side.
Actually had a stroke?
Turned out the masseuse accidentally ripped a hole in the artery leading to his brain, and then he's had a stroke. Doctors treated him in time. He's going to be okay. Should make a full recovery. But yeah, if you're having a massage done and all of a sudden you have a massive headache and sharp pain in your neck, maybe hospital right away. I will say one time I was getting a massage, about 20 minutes in, halfway in, normally I'm like almost fast asleep, right? I'm good. I'm just like laying face down. Your breathing is all cut off with that stupid pillow. And all of a sudden, I don't know what button she hit, but I had to poop like nobody's business. Middle of massage, I'm like, I got to go. Like, I got to get to them. Like, there's going to be a problem. Like.
You think she hit a automatic release
She said
button?
to me, she told me, she's like, there's pressure points and all, and I never believed any of that crap until it actually happened to me. And it was only the one time. And I don't know, it wasn't anything special. There was nothing different going on. I wasn't getting a different part of my body worked on. It's always shoulders and up in by the neck area. But for some reason that
scared me now.
The moment I got, it's just like instantaneous. It was
not that doesn't scare me. The neck thing, the stroke thing.
You know what I want to get is one of them like on the beach forehand massages with the palm fronds, and they just whip you with them, and then they're like doing all that with the grease and everything. It's like 7 people just all working on you. And
I told you it's the very almost first thing besides getting a lawyer that I would do if I ever won the lottery.
A full day massage.
I will until I say stop. I don't know. It could go on for days. It could be a multi-day thing.
I would rent out the whole spa. So no one else could be there with me.
It'd be just personal.
No one else could be there but me, and I'd get all of the things.
All right, now go.
And yeah, I'd call someone to come in for the shift because they're gonna.
I'm not done yet. I'll let you know.
Hashtag Florida woman working at a McDonald's. Her name is Akina Sampson. And apparently while she was working one day, a young girl walked behind the counter to grab some ranch dipping sauce. Akina flipped out, grabbed the girl's arm, and when she tried to break free, Akina then grabbed the girl by her neck, took her to the ground, and choked her again while they were on the floor.
There's a Hidden Valley Ranch party in my mouth.
That's probably too aggressive for some ranch.
Someone called the cops. An investigation was pretty cut and dry. The altercation was all caught on video. The victim had visible injuries to her neck and her elbow. Akina charged with child abuse. The girl said she did it because she felt like she was being ignored by the staff. I will say that the people who work at McDonald's, I love your product. Big fan, all that stuff. But does your job rely on how many packets of sauce you give out? Because sometimes it feels like that. Like you're going to get your pay docked or lose your position.
If I don't get one,
if I don't get, I get one. I got 10 nuggets, but I get one. I might need more than one. And don't get me wrong, I got sauces in my fridge at home.
If that's where you're going to eat it.
But I also would like 3.
And maybe this girl, obviously, she didn't belong behind there because...
No, certainly shouldn't, but didn't deserve to be beaten up and choked.
Yes. You're choking a child over some ranch dressing.
I'm loving it.
Just put in like one more, an extra one. I get it. We're all trying to save money, cut corners. Just give me one more. One more sauce. Whatever you think is the appropriate, give me one more than that. If they tell you, if the management, if the training video in the break room says 2, then give me 3. I don't know what the proper amount is, but
limit.
It could solve a lot. All these little incidents at fast food places. It could just.
Yeah, but the waste if they don't need it.
Whatever. We've been wasting stuff our entire time on this planet. Why
packets,
stop now?
2, 3.
Just give an extra one. The world ain't gonna implode because you gave an extra sauce. All right. This one's funny, and I got to be honest. I'm not mad at this at all. The title says, "Thieving kids stuff little brother into arcade claw machine to steal soft toys." And that's exactly what the video shows.
Except my arm has really been bothering me lately.
Oh, no, Dad.
Oh, yeah. It's becoming a claw!
Yeah. Apparently this is in Russia. And a couple of brothers
wanted to steal the plush toys.
Hell yeah, they did.
And so they shoved their little brother up there?
Yeah, and he gets inside of this thing. And the one kid is really the only one doing it. The kid wearing the red T-shirt grabs the little brother, picks him up, tips him on his side. He's obviously still wearing diapers. He's got no shoes on.
Oh, my God, he's a baby.
Oh, yeah, he's probably like, I don't know, when can a baby start moving around and walking and stuff?
About a year.
All right, so he's probably 1, 2, and he takes every single one of the stuffed toys in the claw machine and jams it in the hole. And his
baby does?
Yeah, and the other brother who's trying to hide his identity with his coat, he's got the hood on over his face. He's going like this. He's like, we're getting away with it, man. All of them. The whole thing's empty. Empty. He took all of them. There's got to be like, and then he crawls right back down the hole. The brother rips him out, and they make off with all the stuffed toys.
Maybe he's
I got no problem with this. This is what kids are supposed to do. And honestly, like, God bless them.
They
saw a problem and they worked together to solve it. That's what you want out of your brothers.
They shoved him up a claw machine in his diapers.
No, I mean, he's wearing pants, but you can tell from his butt and like from his size, he's probably still got diapers on.
2.5.
No shoes. Got his hat on, the little winter hat, and he gets shoved up there, and there's a girl wandering around wondering what's going on. They probably got 20, 30 stuffed toys out of that thing. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious. Bad news, happy music. This is kind of disconcerting. A new poll found that 1/3 of Americans already trust ChatGPT more than experts in at least one field or area of expertise. ChatGPT, expert. Legitimate, documented, notice on the wall expert.
Person that has
probably
expertise.
Graduated, multiple levels of education.
Studied things. The internet scouring machine.
Internet thing.
Mm-hmm.
The things that we trust ChatGPT with the most are career advice and product recommendations. So not medical advice.
Okay. That's just scouring the internet.
Not legal advice.
Stuff.
60% of people tend to believe what it says about that stuff, ChatGPT. We don't trust it with everything yet. According to this recent survey, 35% of people would trust medical advice from ChatGPT. 28% said the same about legal advice, so much less.
Yes.
Scary, though. Half of all users say they lean on it as a learning tool. Financial stuff, product recommendations, career advice, relationship advice. Oh, my God. 15% of people turn to some ChatGPT AI bot on the internet for relationship advice. And we wonder what's going to happen.
Well, it can scour the internet very quickly and come up with information for you. So
Good
that's
for it.
why. That's why it's.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure nothing could go wrong with that.
That's why it's looked at that way.
Last but not least, 35-year-old Texas man arrested after allegedly pouring scalding hot soup on his 65-year-old girlfriend, causing severe third-degree burns because she was, quote, talking too much.
No soup for you.
30-year difference. He's 35. She's 65. Hot soup, talking too much. Alexander Alton McDavid, Waco, Texas, hit with a slew of charges, including resisting arrest or transportation, terroristic threat of family or household member, assault with bodily injury, continuous violence against family.
My gosh. So this is like.
And injury to an elderly person, his own senior-age girlfriend.
Yeah. So he's just got a lot of problems.
Apparently, he went into a blind rage late February and attacked his girlfriend at their apartment after claiming she was being too chatty. Struck her with a plate of piping hot fresh soup out of the oven, out of the microwave. So they've been heating this up, and she's talking and having a conversation about her day. And
ouch, 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 ouch.
Third-degree burns on her right shoulder and her forearm. Victim couldn't immediately seek help because she didn't have access to a car or cell phone.
Yeah, and that guy sounds like not somebody who's going to help.
Also could not report the abuse until she encountered police days later during a visit to the Social Security office. I'm sorry, but told police the couple lived together and were going steady for about a year until McDavid started to be physically abusive, claimed that he had choked her in the past, said she never reported it to police. This guy apparently was previously convicted of family violence assault in 2017 and in 2021. So a history of violent criminal activity in this guy's docket.
Yeah.
65-year-old girlfriend.
Scared and abused and
hit her with some soup.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a quality human being right there. Bad news, happy music. On Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Spirit Box now. We'll check our texts and emails next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up. Call.
Hello.
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Hit up the website, rockmornings.com, for all of our contact info. Check out the daily podcast. Listen to the show live. Register to win Workforce Wednesday, which is tomorrow. Date night on Friday. God bless my wife. Sent her an email about blood donations.
With Metallica.
Nashville. Going down there to see the shows. End of the month. She said, sorry, babe, I would have been down to give some blood with you. Looks like they're doing the blood drive a couple of days before they set up the venue for the shows. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
We're not leaving until the 30th. They're doing the blood drive on the 29th. So
yeah, more for probably local folk who live there and might be able to make the time versus people that are traveling to these shows.
But she would have been down for some blood. At least that's what she said. Dave texted in. Said, I'm working in Eau Claire today. I switched radio to 92.9 when I lost your signal. When did you guys start airing there? I said, about a year and a half ago. He said, clearly I'm on the pulse. It's okay, Dave. It's all right. Yes, we are now
on. How would
on.
you know that necessarily?
We are now on in two markets, in La Crosse and in Eau Claire. In La Crosse, of course, we're on 95.7 The Rock. In Eau Claire, we're on 92.9 The X. You can hear our station or our show on both of those stations. And then, of course, after we're done, our stations go back to regularly scheduled program. And a fancy new sign behind me that you can see on our, what are they called? Reels, YouTube videos, whatever they are. Yeah. Sorry, Dave. It's okay, though.
Yeah, but Dave learned something new today.
We talked a lot about the fishing guy, obviously. There was a lot of text messages from that. Somebody texted in and said, Freak Out Dumbass was a veteran, but a POG, personnel other than grunt. He claimed he was a badass, but talks that he was a ranger or some crap that he didn't do. I said, I did not go down the hole to try to figure out whether or not this guy was
Says he's a vet that's
an actual veteran. That's not my job. I'm just going to believe him. This gentleman said, as a vet, we look into it, bro. And then I said, yeah, there's so many bros. He said, I saw the video but didn't listen that long to the video. There was an asinine amount of bros.
It was a lot. That's why I stopped, too.
Someone else texted in and said, Brock is a legitimate veteran. The humor amongst us vets is that he claimed to be a ranger and he was actually an admin/human resources clerk. And I said, so that's not stolen valor. What do you call that? I'm truly trying to learn. I don't know. And he said, people want to call it stolen valor, and I suppose it is to a degree. He stole the valor of a more prestigious and admired position/role. I think the majority of us call it jealousy and underwhelmed by their purpose in the military. Blame war movies. This is a great line. Blame war movies. None of them demonstrate the glory of processing payroll. Sorry, Christy Nix. Not a lot of that in military movies.
There's not a lot of it.
You don't see Gunny Highway over there signing checks?
I'm over here stamping these checks.
This is the preferred weapon of your enemy. Has a very distinctive sound.
Stamper.
Yeah, not so much with that. Unless they're getting their discharge papers, and you get that chunk.
Yeah.
You get that guy. Tisha, by the way, said Nashville. Check out Martin's Barbecue when you're visiting. Great food. You're going down there tomorrow. Martin's Barbecue in Nashville. Apparently, you got to check it out. I'll see if it's on the agenda when we go down. Paul texted in and said, the slang word bro can go away anytime soon.
I think that kid was panicking.
He
didn't know what to do. He's just trying to keep it.
But that's obviously his go-to move. I mean, that's what he says all the time.
But he's panicked and he's a little worked up and he doesn't know what to do, and he's trying to keep this guy from getting more angry by just yelling bro at him 1,000 times.
Yeah. I mean, he did, to his credit, try to de-escalate the situation.
I'm sorry.
Apologizing, saying that he, thankful for your service, all that stuff. And yeah, but the bros would have drove me nuts. I would have lost it as well. Thank you for all the text messages and correspondence. Good to hear from you guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Gene's out for the rest of the week. Best of luck. Good luck down there.
Thanks.
Hope nothing terrible happens.
It won't. It'll be great.
I mean, there's so many terrible things that could happen.
Nothing terrible will happen. It'll be just great.
I don't call you Calamity Gene for no reason. You realize that, right?
I know.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to hear what happens, what goes awry.
It's going to be
every time you travel. There's some kind of shenanigans.
It'll be great.
Lost luggage and missed flights, and
this won't be any of that. This is round trip bus transport.
Nothing bad could happen on a bus trip. Yeah, I'm sure. Never had anything bad happen on a bus trip. All right. Well, good luck.